So hello everyone and welcome to our final session, that is day 15 of the Marine Cargo Insurance course. Today is all about bringing everything we have learned together. We will have an interactive discussion, apply our knowledge to some real world shipping scenarios, and make sure you are confident in managing marine cargo risk and claim. By the end of today, you will have a solid grasp of the key concepts and be ready to tackle real challenges. To start, we are opening the floor of an open forum. Your questions answered. This is your chance to ask absolutely anything that has come to mind during the past 14 days of this course. So please don't hesitate. No questions is too basic or too complex. We want to make sure all your doubts are clear. Let's also use this time to discuss any real world challenges you have personally faced or heard about in marine cargo insurance. Your experiences are valuable to everyone here. So now let's move into some practical case studies. These are real world scenarios to help us apply what we have learned. So case study 1, the wet container. Imagine this scenario. You have shipped a container full of valuable electronics, and when it arrives, you find everything inside is damaged by water. The shipping company, the carrier, says the damage was caused by condensation, basically moisture naturally building up inside the container, which they might call inherent vice, meaning a natural problem with the core goods themselves. But you are, as the insured, suspect there was actually a leak in the container. So let's discuss. So how would you determine the proximate cause? Remember the proximate cause from day two, the direct dominant cause. How would you figure out if it was condensation or a leak? What documentation would you crucial here? What papers, photos, or records would you need to prove your case? What role does the surveyor play? How would the marine surveyor we talked about on day 7 help in this situation? Which ICC would provide coverage? Thinking back to day 5, which institute cargo clause A, B, or C would most likely cover this type of water damage depending on its cause? Let's look at the case study 2, the missing shipment. Here's the scenario. You loaded a full container of goods at the original, but it simply never arrived at its destination. The carrier says that they have no knowledge of it. It's just gone. So now let's discuss. What initial steps should the insured take? Thinking back to day 8, what are the very first things you should do when you realize your shipment is missing? What documents are essential for a non-delivery claim? From day 9, what specific documents would you need to prove that the shipment was indeed loaded with never delivered? How does carrier liability interact with cargo insurance? Remember from day 3, carriers have limited liability. How do those rules affect your liability to claim from the carrier versus your insurance? Importance of TP&D coverage. Thinking about date 14, why would having theft, pilferage, and non-delivery TP&D coverage be absolutely crucial in this specific situation? Our final case study is case study 3, that is the port diversion. Imagine this scenario: a large cargo vessel, you have goods on, encounter a severe storm. The ship gets damaged and has a divert to an unplanned port of refuge for emergency repairs. This causes shipment significant expenses. The ship owner then declares a journal average. To add to the complexity, Your cargo was shipped under FOB, that is free on board, Incoterms. So now let's discuss what are the implications of the journal average for the cargo owner. From day 11, what does it mean for you as a cargo owner when journal average is declared? What kind of cost might you face? Who is responsible for the G contribution under FOB? Thinking back to day 3 with FOB terms, who bears the risk once the goods are on the board? How does that affect who pays the general average? How does marine cargo insurance protect the cargo owner in this scenario? If you have marine cargo insurance, how does it help you with these general average concepts? What security might be required to release the cargo? What would we need to provide to get your cargo released from the port of refuge, and who would typically provide it? Now let's highlight some common pitfalls to avoid. These are mistakes that businesses often make which can lead to problems with their marine cargo insurance or claims. Underinsurance is a big one. It means you haven't insured your cargo for its full value, which should be the invoice value plus the freight plus at least 10% off for other costs. If you underinsure, the insurer might only pay a reduced amount of your claim. Delayed notification, missing those critical deadlines for telling the carrier or the insurer about a loss can seriously jeopardize your claim. Remember, time is crucial. Failure to note exceptions or delivery receipts. If you see damage when your goods arrive, but you sign the delivery documents as clean, it becomes very hard to prove the damage happened during transit. Not packing your goods strongly enough or appropriately for the journey, this is a common reason for the claims being reduced or denied. Not understanding Incoterms implications, misrepresenting who is responsible for the risk and insurance at different points in the journey, which can leave you uninsured. Assuming all risk means all risks, including exclusions with an ICCA policy, remember that all risk does not mean absolutely everything. You must read and understand the specific exclusions in your policy. Lack of proper documentation, not keeping complete and accurate record for your claim. As we saw on day 9, good documentation is the backbone of your claim. So as we conclude this course, let's recap the key takeaways. The most important things we hope you have learned. First is the marine cargo insurance is a vital risk management tool for anyone involved in global trade. It's not just an expense, it's an investment in your business stability. Second, understanding your policy terms, especially the ICC, ABC, and all the exclusions is absolutely crucial. So don't just assume or read or understand what you have covered for. Third, proactive loss prevention is incredibly powerful. By actively working to prevent losses, you not only save money on claims but also make your entire supply chain more reliable and efficient. Fourth, when a loss does occur, prompt action and thorough documentation are the keys to successful claim. Act quickly and document everything. And finally, always consult your trusted insurance broker or insurers for specific advice tailored to your unique shipment and business needs. They are your experts. So that brings us to the very end of our 15-day marine cargo insurance course. I hope you have found it informative and empowering. As a final thought, I would love to hear from each of you. What's the single most valuable piece of information or the insight you have gained from this entire 15 days course? What resonated with you the most, or what will you apply first? Please share your thoughts in the comments below. Thank you all for joining, and I wish you safe and well insured shipments. Thank you so much.